Welcome to Section 3 of the Federal and State Income Tax 2026 Edition Training Series. In this section, we cover corporate income taxation, the flat 21% rate, key deductions, depreciation rules, net operating losses, business interest limitations, the dividends received deduction, and the corporate alternative minimum tax. Let us get started. By the end of this section, you will be able to explain how the flat 21% corporate rate interacts with individual dividend taxation to create double taxation. You will apply the key deduction categories available to C corporations and calculate the impact of 100% bonus depreciation. You will also understand how R&D expensing, net operating losses, and business interest limitations work under the One Big Beautiful Budget Act, and recognize when the corporate CAMT might apply. Let us begin with the foundational question. How is a C corporation taxed, and what is the real cost of that structure when profits are distributed to shareholders? C corporations pay a flat 21% federal income tax rate on all taxable income. This rate has been in place since the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 and remains unchanged. The One Big Beautiful Budget Act of 2025 did not modify the corporate rate. The flat rate provides certainty and simplicity. Every dollar of corporate taxable income is taxed at exactly 21%, regardless of how large the corporation's profits are. Here is the core double taxation illustration on $500,000 of business income. The C corporation pays $105,000 in entity-level tax at 21%, leaving $395,000 to distribute. When that amount is paid as a qualified dividend, the shareholder pays another $59,250 at the 15% qualified dividend rate. Total combined tax burden is $164,250, a 32.9% effective rate. Compare that to a pass-through structure. No entity-level tax is paid. The owner pays individual tax at 37% on $500,000, but with the 20% QBI deduction, the effective amount subject to tax is reduced. Total pass-through tax is $148,000, a 29.6% effective rate. The pass-through advantage is $16,250 less tax per year. This comparison is why business owners and their advisors carefully evaluate entity structure. Now let us look at what a C corporation can deduct. Section 162 allows deductions for all ordinary and necessary business expenses, but several key categories deserve attention, especially given recent changes under the OBBBA. Section 162 allows deductions for expenses that are both ordinary, common, and accepted in the industry, and necessary, appropriate, and helpful for the business. Employee compensation is fully deductible if reasonable. Excessive compensation paid to officer shareholders may be reclassified by the IRS business meals, with clients remain 50% deductible, but entertainment expenses, such as sporting events and concerts, remain at 0% after the TCJA. Research and development costs are now immediately deductible again under Section 174A. We cover that in the next section. Business interest is subject to a 30% of ATI limitation, but the more generous EBITDA base is restored. Business-level state and local taxes are fully deductible. The $10,000 individual SALT cap does not apply. Charitable contributions are deductible up to 10% of taxable income, with a 5-year carryforward. One of the most significant OBBBA changes for capital-intensive businesses is the permanent restoration of 100% bonus depreciation. Let us look at the history, the current rules, and how Section 179 compares. The TCJA of 2017 established 100% bonus depreciation starting in 2018. However, it also scheduled a phase-down, 80% in 2023, 60% in 2024, and continuing to decline toward zero. The OBBBA reversed that phase-down entirely. For qualified property placed in service on or after January 19, 2025, 100% bonus depreciation is permanently restored. Businesses can now immediately expense the full cost of qualifying assets. Eligible property includes MACRS property with a recovery period of 20 years or less, computer software, qualified improvement property, and used property as well as new property. These are the standard MACRS property classes. 5-year property includes computers and vehicles. 7-year property covers most manufacturing equipment and office furniture and is the default classification. 15-year property covers land improvements and qualified improvement property. Residential rental property is depreciated over 27.5 years, and commercial buildings over 39 years. Section 179 allows immediate expensing up to $1,160,000 in 2026, with a phase-out starting at $2,890,000 of total qualifying property placed in service. A critical distinction from bonus depreciation. Section 179 cannot create a net operating loss because it is limited to taxable income. Bonus depreciation has no such limitation and can generate or increase a loss. The restoration of immediate research and development, expensing under new Section 174A, is one of the most impactful OBBBA changes for technology, pharmaceutical, and manufacturing companies. Let us examine the history and current rules. Before 2022, domestic research and experimentation costs were immediately deductible in the year incurred under old Section 174. The TCJA changed this starting in 2022. All R&E costs had to be capitalized and amortized over 5 years for domestic costs and 15 years for foreign costs. This was a significant cash flow hit for research-intensive companies. The OBBBA created new Section 174A and reversed this for domestic costs. Starting in 2025, domestic R&E is immediately deductible again, including software development costs. Companies also have the option to elect to capitalize over 5 to 10 years if preferred. Companies that capitalized R&E costs for 2022 through 2024 may be able to file amended returns or change accounting methods to recover those deductions. Foreign R&E costs remain amortizable over 15 years. Only domestic R&E was restored. Now we examine 2 rules that affect corporations with losses or significant debt: the net operating loss rules and the Section 163J business interest limitation. When a corporation's deductions exceed its gross income, it generates a net operating loss. Under current law, most corporations cannot carry that loss back to prior years. The TCJA eliminated carrybacks for NOLs generated in 2018 and later. However, NOLs carry forward indefinitely and never expire. There is an important limitation. NOL carryforwards can only offset up to 80% of current year taxable income. A corporation with a large NOL carryforward will still owe tax in a profitable year. At least 20% of taxable income remains taxable. The OBBBA did not change these rules. The loss of carryback rights is a significant planning issue for companies with volatile income, since they can no longer get an immediate cash refund by carrying a loss back to a prior profitable year. Section 163J caps the deduction for business interest expense at 30% of adjusted taxable income. The OBBBA permanently restored the more generous EBITDA-based calculation. From 2018 through 2021, companies added back depreciation and amortization when computing adjusted taxable income, producing a larger base and a higher allowable interest deduction. Starting in 2022, the TCJA changed this to an EBIT-only base, removing the depreciation and amortization add-back. This significantly hurt capital-intensive businesses with heavy debt loads alongside large depreciation. The OBBBA reversed this starting in 2025. Depreciation and amortization are added back again permanently. A key planning point: review disallowed interest carryforwards from 2022 through 2024, as the restored EBITDA base may allow faster absorption. Businesses with average annual gross receipts of $29 million or less in 2026 are fully exempt from the Section 163J limitation. The Dividends Received Deduction reduces the corporate tax on dividends received from other corporations, mitigating triple taxation in corporate chains. At less than 20% ownership, 50% of dividends received are deductible, producing an effective tax rate of 10.5% on those dividends. At 20 to 79% ownership, 65% is deductible for a 7.35% effective rate. At 80% or more ownership, the affiliated group threshold, 100% of dividends are deductible, eliminating corporate tax on intercompany dividends entirely. Regarding the corporate alternative minimum tax, the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 created a 15% minimum tax on adjusted financial statement income for corporations with average annual adjusted financial statement income exceeding $1 billion. The OBBBA did not eliminate or significantly change this. It continues to apply to approximately 150 or more of the largest U.S. corporations and creates new book tax difference planning considerations since it is based on book income rather than taxable income. Let us summarize the key takeaways. C corporations pay a flat 21% rate unchanged by the OBBBA, but the double taxation of distributed dividends creates a 32.9% combined effective rate compared to 29.6% for a comparable pass-through. All ordinary and necessary business expenses are deductible under Section 162, and the individual SALT cap does not restrict business-level state tax deductions. 100% bonus depreciation is now permanently restored by the OBBBA for property placed in service from January 19, 2025. Section 174A restores immediate expensing of domestic R&D starting in 2025. Foreign R&D remains amortizable over 15 years. Net operating losses carry forward indefinitely, but are capped at 80% of current year taxable income with no carryback for most corporations. The Section 163J business interest limitation uses a 30% of ATI cap, and the more generous EBITDA-based ATI calculation is permanently restored. The Dividends Received Deduction reduces corporate tax on intercompany dividends, and the corporate CAMT at 15% of book income applies to the very largest U.S. corporations. Thank you for completing this section on corporate income tax.